Ladies and gentlemen, Arizona had a very successful duck hunt, and we're bringing back some more scalps. But next, it's the Gritty Boys versus the Pretty Boys from Duke. And Damon and I are going to break it all down on the AZ Wildcats post-game live show in 30 seconds. Don't you go anywhere!
Let's effing go. Arizona beats Oregon 87-83 and moves on in the NCAA March Madness tournament, Kevin. To play the Duke Blue Devils, I am Damon Fairall. He is Kevin Thomas. This is the AZ Wildcats postgame show. Thank you guys so much for being here. Kevin, turn that music up a little bit. Give me a little bit more, right? I'm not done vibing out to this because it was a tough, hard-fought game. Yes, Arizona shot themselves in the foot and you know, frankly, didn't really play all that well when you consider that they could have won by a lot more, Kevin. But at the end of the day, this team got out to a deficit, and they came back, they fought back, and they showed the most mental fortitude they've shown all season long, and that's got to fill you with some confidence. Like I said, I am Damon Fairall. He is Kevin Thomas. This is the AZ Wildcats postgame show, and let's go, Kevin. How we feeling?
I am feeling electrified, Damon Dog. Absolutely electrified. When I got in here, I was pretty chill, a little nervous. I think maybe might have been the energy because these games, they start to mean a lot more, folks. They start to mean a lot more. And, yeah, Arizona showed that tonight. They got punched in the mouth to start, but the response was incredible, y'all. And I know I see my guy Luke here in the chat saying the anxiety levels, and boy, I know Damon was feeling it. He was checking in on his heart rate during this game.
You have no idea,
I was going
man.
nonverbal for stretches of this game, which I never do. Damon knows that. And so yeah, y'all, it was nerve-wracking. But can we talk about Caleb Love? Can we talk about Tobe Awaka?
Let's do it.
The Arizona Wildcats, they got, like I said, they got punched in the mouth in this game, Damon Dog. They came out sleepwalking in this game, which is honestly something I was shocked by. For Arizona to come out sleepwalking at this point in the tournament. But the response that Arizona had, and I apologize who tweeted this. It might have been Julie Miller. Might be miscrediting here. But someone on Twitter said, this is the Big 12 paying dividends right here tonight. And that they could not have been more correct. Because we've been calling this team the Gritty Boys. They've been calling themselves the Gritty Boys all year. And the Big 12 battle tested them. Not only did it battle test them, but it proved to themselves that they can beat anybody in the country if they play tough, hard-nosed basketball for 40 minutes. And they probably played about 32 minutes of hard-nosed basketball in this game, Damon, but it was good enough to get it done. You and I are going to talk about some of the small stuff as well. I'm sure Saul, who's going to join us in the front half of this show, busy man, got to get in while the energy's still hot. You know what I mean? But yeah, we're going to talk about some of the small stuff with him. But overall, Damon, I think the biggest takeaway is not that Arizona was punched in the mouth, but that Arizona responded, and they responded tenfold. So I think that's the biggest takeaway. Tobe Awaka being an absolute monster.
Yeah.
Caleb Love, I tweeted it at the beginning of the game. This is a game where you need Caleb Love. This is a Caleb Love game. This is a game where you need the guy that can be the top-end scorer to be that top-end scorer, because you don't bring Caleb Love back for, ASU, and you don't bring Caleb Love back for Colorado. You don't bring Caleb Love back for Oklahoma State. You bring Caleb Love back for these big moments because this is, he said it on TV, like, this is what I was given the talents to do. This is what I was, pretty much prepared for this whole time. And, we can talk more about Caleb Love later in a possible player of the game segment. That's called the tease, folks. But first, let's go to our guy, Saul Bookman. And we're going to go buy the book, Damon Dog. What do you got to say?
No, let's do it.
Let's do it. Saul, how are we feeling after that major area? Yeah, you got to do it to the left. You know what I'm saying? So how are we feeling after that massive dub, Saul? Welcome to the pod. Welcome back to the pod. We are surviving in advance.
Good teams find good ways to win, right? I felt like this good team was trying to find ways to possibly lose for a
Oh
second
man.
there. There were so many unnecessary errors that were really just kind of flukish, and it's just, oh man, if they'd have lost this game, I think this. I was telling my wife, I was like, if they find a way to lose this game, this might be the most unbearable offseason I will have ever experienced, because I will play like 15 plays in my head over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But luckily, they have Caleb Love, and I, I am so happy for that kid, man. He is, God. The amount of crap that guy got at the beginning of the season, the amount of trash people were throwing his way, the disrespect, the people that just would prefer to have some average freshman take his place as if that was going to be the savior. I am so happy that Caleb Love got a moment like this to be able to take Arizona to the Sweet 16, because without Caleb Love, we don't win this game, hands down. Just overall, there's Tobe, Awaka, KJ Lewis. Those three guys were phenomenal tonight, and the reason why Arizona won the game.
Totally with you there. Tobe Awaka, just insane. I feel like kind of turned the game on its head, I would say, late in that first half in particular, when Oregon could have ran away with it. And Tobe Awaka just got in there and just flipped the rebounding battle and just made things really difficult for Oregon, gave Arizona tons of extra possessions. Saul obviously wasn't Henri Veesaar's best game, but that duo just continues to, like, Tommy can kind of just play it by flow of the game, play it by whoever's night it is. So can you just speak to that front court and just what you saw from them tonight?
Well, Veesaar didn't have his greatest game tonight. That's for sure. There was a noticeable difference, obviously, when Tobe Awaka came out of the game. But Tobe's ability to just be so physical at the point of attack really, really bothered Bittle. And he was just not able to get comfortable. And then, obviously, when they switched up, he felt more comfortable and he was able to get whatever he wanted against Veesaar. And that's just, hey, listen, that comes with growth for Veesaar. That's something he'll take into the offseason. But, like, yeah, I can't let that happen again. But Tobe, you're right. Like, never in a million years would I have ever thought that somebody that could rebound the way he can would basically bring us back in the game by himself. And Tobe had such a huge moment in that first half. And then you obviously mix in everything else that went along with it, including KJ Lewis, who I also thought coincidentally at the right around the same time was just such a man possessed on defense. Switching up, really being able to get into people's pockets, really just bothering them, getting physical, handsy. Like KJ Lewis is a dog. Like you need dogs, and Tobe and KJ defensive rebounding. If you can do both of those, you're going to win a lot of games, and they proved that tonight because they really flipped the script so massively in that first half that obviously in the end they needed that. So
I might be going off the cuff here, and I really have to do a little bit more research in order to fully fledge out this idea. But I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking, is this the best win of the Tommy Lloyd era? Are we in that moment right now? Because I honestly, like, I didn't expect this team to come back after that brutal start to the game. I don't think that they've shown a lot of ability to make comebacks really all season long. They've been a team that's like to get out in the front foot and kind of hold on to leads rather than, kind of flipping games over. So what do you guys think about that? Do you guys think that this is like the most impressive win of Tommy Lloyd's tenure at Arizona?
I mean, I don't know about that. Just because I feel like they've had bigger wins before. Now, maybe in terms of the tournament, like I don't really count Davidson. Yeah, it was a good game, but I felt like we had pretty much control of that game for the most part. We would have had to give the game to Davidson, but I will say this: I'm sorry, Dayton, not Davidson. I'm thinking Steph Curry, Dayton.
I was wondering what you were. I was just trusting the process there, Saul. I was trusting the process.
The hamster is in there. It just it's got a broken leg, so it just takes
right
a little
now.
bit.
It's like SpongeBob in that episode where he's trying to everything's on fire and he's trying to get files in the file. He's like Go ahead. Sorry.
So Dayton, but I would say TCU was a pretty intense game in the to go to the Sweet 16 as well. Remember, it took Benedict Mathurin to have to hit a big 3-point shot to send that even to get to overtime, and then obviously the Cats pull out the win with Kirk Risa and his bad leg bruised up and whatnot. So I would say that was pretty clutch, and that was a big time win in the tournament. But this is up there because it's Oregon and it's a former rival. I would still say it's a rival. They're familiar with each other. Dana Altman throws the kitchen sink at you and more. So yeah, I would say this is up there. I wouldn't say it's the greatest, but I would say it's up there. Now, ask me that again on Thursday night if we win.
Yeah, I mean that would obviously trump that automatically, but I mean, I don't think we can underplay it. We're Pac-12 champions tonight. Are we not gonna talk about that? When's the ring ceremony?
My guy, we lost to UCLA earlier.
Yeah, but they lost last night. They're not in the Sweet 16. This was for all the marbles, Saul.
Okay. All right. My bad. My fault. Yeah, you're right. Pac-12 champs. Put the ring on.
Love it.
Saul, when you joined into the backstage there, excuse me, I was kind of lamenting, waxing poetic about Caleb Love and how you bring him back for games like this. Can you talk to me about how you were feeling during that Caleb Love takeover towards the end of the game, where I think he scored 10 straight for Arizona at one point? I saw our guy Justin Spears, and this is kind of where I wanted to take it, so I'll push you in that direction as well. But I saw our guy Justin Spears on Twitter talk about how Caleb Love's multi-dimensional game was shown on full display tonight, and that gave me the thought that this is the Caleb Love that's been showing up every night, but when his shot is falling, you see the full array of how he has grown as a combo guard. So can you talk to me about how you felt during that run and overall his growth as a guard?
Absolutely. And this is where my major pushback was with a lot of people in the early part of the season. People will look at Caleb Love, and Caleb Love has what I would phrase, personally speaking from experience, a bit of a resting bitch face. And so when he's on the court and things aren't going his way, people will interpret that as, oh, he's got a bad attitude. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Like he doesn't even care. He doesn't get back on D. Like, dude, stop. Just stop. Like, and I think what happened with Caleb, and it was a blessing in disguise, that early on in the season, he wasn't clicking. And he had to find other ways to impact the game. And Tommy absolutely put some pressure on him to find other ways to impact the game more than just shooting, because when his shot's not off, you can't be a one-trick pony. And he has done that. He's way more efficient in the pick and roll. The little drop-offs to Veesaar and Awaka, like he's getting so much more comfortable with that. He sees those seams. Defensively, he's taken it a whole nother level than he was a year ago. Just overall. And then being able to pick and prod the defense. And this is where I love where Caleb's at. He will attack the rim. He will hit the mid-range floater. He will hit the three. Those are the three things he's most comfortable with. And that's three levels of the defense or three levels of the defense has to be aware of. And I love that. Now you're seeing him come off the pick and roll. The guy drops. He takes a step back, hits the three in your face. If he plays two up on the hip, he drives up. If the big helps, he drops it off for the layup. If the big doesn't help, floater, you're screwed. Either way, you are screwed. And so this is what I love about Caleb Love. He has evolved into becoming not only one of the better players left in the tournament, but also he is making some headway in the NBA range as well, in terms of potentially being a second-round pick or drafted at all, where I think a year ago you have questions. I think he's starting to answer a lot of those questions now, and you can't be happier for the guy.
100%. I tweeted this like right after the game, Saul, or actually it wasn't even when the game was over. It was after he hit that second free throw to kind of ice it at the end. It's so poetic to me that Caleb Love, a guy who all of the national analysts and pundits, or maybe not all of them, but it certainly felt like majority of them, when they were analyzing Arizona's draw in the bracket, they're all saying, with the lazy analysis of Caleb Love could shoot them out of any basketball game. He might shoot them out of the first, second round. And then how poetic is it for Caleb to then turn things around and hit a big three, have a massive dunk, hit those big free throws down the stretch, and kind of put this thing on ice, right? Because, it's kind of the opposite of all the things that they were saying about him. And I think Arizona fans that have been open and have been watching all season long have seen this version of Caleb Love that is a winner, while everybody else can just keep talking about stuff that they clearly have no idea about.
Here's a small thing, okay? And I think the announcers kind of pointed to it a little bit towards the end of the game, but for whatever reason, the press breaker going to the corner is just it's gonna send me. I swear it's gonna send me, because Oregon was clearly gonna trap every single time they tried to put the ball into Jaden Bradley's hands in that corner, because Jaden is, and give Dana Altman credit. He cued in on a little thing that Jaden Bradley will typically do from time to time, and as soon as he catches it, where does his head go?
Down.
He tries
to armadillo roll it.
And then he's trying to look at arms to try and get it, instead of looking up right away. Caleb was put in that same position, and immediately upon catching the ball, looked up to see KJ Lewis on the other side, threw it over instead of waiting for that double team and trap to come. Like, if you're going to beat the press, you have to be quick with your decisions. You cannot wait, because once you get doubled, it is very, very unlikely that you're going to get out of that unless you get fouled. So that's the evolution of Caleb Love in terms of leading by example that people won't point to, because they don't understand like how much you have to be aware, not only self-aware, but also aware of what Oregon is trying to do on the court. They're trying to trap you. They're trying to turn the ball over. They're not trying to foul, not with 50 seconds left. So Jaden's got to be better in that situation, and I think he will be. And then Caleb kind of showed him like, hey, this is how you do it. And then let's go from here. So I love that. I love it.
I brought that up to Kevin while watching it, that it was playing right into the way Dana Altman wanted it to be played, right? He was getting the guy that he wanted in the corner with two people on him, trapping him. And honestly, I would have loved to have seen Tommy Lloyd potentially kind of put some sort of, schematic thing out there that maybe got Arizona in a more preferential position, because I felt like we were playing straight into Dana Altman's hands right there.
Well, and then he did by swapping out Del Orso with a big. He was able to have him to be the third or fourth guy coming off that drop from the free throw line down to the opposite corner, which obviously Delly got it twice, got fouled twice, hit 4 major free throws. Shout out to Delly for that, because man, I listen. He's also a guy that's been, he's had his moments where it's been bad, and they were hunting him. They were hunting him tonight. The only way you could stay on the floor, you got to hit shots. And I was happy that I was able to hit a couple threes in the second half, and then also hit those big free throws, because those were huge free throws.
They absolutely were. Saul, did you have a chance to watch Duke versus Baylor earlier today? And if so, what were your kind of your thoughts on Duke?
It's funny. I was talking to Corey after the game, because Corey on Mikhail Madness had said that he was more scared of Oregon than he was Duke, which is cool. However, I'm like, bro, are you serious? Like,
Corey, not to cut you off, Saul, but Corey might be the #1 Cooper Flagg hater on earth. Cooper Flagg could have a 360 through the legs dunk, and Corey would be like, oh, why are you pulling that off in the game? Why are you not just two-handing that? You know what I mean? Like, Corey, he's moving, man.
Since we're playing Duke this week, I'm going to agree with him. Cooper Flagg. However, the thing that he brought up was Baylor doesn't have the athletic defensive guards that Arizona does. And they have more versatility. Instead of Omier, you do have guys that can play a little bit better on the perimeter and are less prone to foul trouble, even though Awaka got into foul trouble tonight. So he thinks that we match up better. Now, Duke has improved since the first time we played them in McHale. We have improved since the first time we played at McHale. Defensively, we are much better now than we were back then. And that wasn't a high-scoring game. That was a relatively low-scoring game, considering all the firepower, quote unquote, that was on the floor. So I think this could be another big opportunity for Arizona to, I'm not going to say they're going to win. I'm not going to say they're going to lose. I think it's going to be as close as it probably was tonight. But this is one of those games where if you step in the arena and you even F around, you're going to find yourself on the bench, because we don't have time to be waiting for you to figure it out. So like tonight, when Delly was a little bit lost earlier in that first part of the game and they were hunting him, like, there is no like, I'm gonna give you 2 or 3 or 4 minutes. No, 20 seconds. Get him out. He's not ready. He's not ready. Same thing with Veesaar. Veesaar came in, 2 quick fouls, didn't really look like he was like, ready to go. You can't have that right now. This is the Sweet 16. If you beat Duke, you've got to be telling yourself, if we get back past Duke, we are at the threshold again.
The ceiling is.
You got to know that. You got to know that, and everything's in front of you. And so this is, hey, you're one of the best 16 teams left in the country, which is basically where Arizona's been at all year. Now's the time to really come out and prove to the country that you're still Arizona. You can beat a premier program on national television, and everybody's going to be watching. So recruits, Burries, Pete, all those guys out there. Duke's already got the number 1 class. They don't need any more clout. Come to Arizona and see what it's all about.
So I gotta interrupt this conversation real quick because we have a super chat, and it's a banger show when B Calm C Clearly is in the super chats. B Calm C Clearly with a $2 super chat. I will read this one. I will take the role of our guy Noah Wolbrecht for tonight, and I will say Caleb Love is cute, and I like that cake. Heart emoji. Quote, be calm, see clearly.
We're moving mountains when Be Calm, See Clearly is tuning into Arizona basketball games.
Hey. It is an all-timer if Be Calm, See Clearly is in the house.
Credit to Be Calm, See Clearly, because they have fine-tuned their messaging.
Yes.
It is not as unplayable as it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I can live with that. And I'm sure Caleb Love would appreciate the sentiments as well. So
they say athleticism comes from the lower body, and I'll leave that at that. I will say, Saul.
Charles Barkley wasn't the round mound of rebound just because he can get pulled down boards, okay?
Speaking of round mounds of rebounds, let's talk Tobe Awaka real quick. Because Tobe Awaka was incredible tonight, Saul. He was dominant for stretches of this game. I believe in the first half, he had maybe 2 less rebounds than the entire Oregon team. Truly impressive stuff. He really kind of was a third of what flipped this game on its head for Arizona. A lot of fans online were confused, anxious, worried about how long he sat in the late stretches of this game. Can you try to give some perspective to that from your side of things? Because me and Damon, we really weren't on either side of it. We were kind of just trusting Tommy's process. We were anxious too. Don't get me wrong. We were anxious too.
Maybe that's how you felt. I was sitting there going, where is Tobe?
I was sitting there thinking, okay, he's going to get him in after the under 4 media timeout. And then he didn't come in after that. And I'm thinking, where's the Awaka? You know what I mean? So can you talk to me a little bit about Tobe Awaka's performance tonight? And also, where the hell was he in the end of this game when Bittle was just turning around, putting everything in the bucket?
Well, honestly, I don't know, because I was asking kind of the same thing at about that 5-minute mark. I was like, all right, I understand if we're going to wait till the under 4 minute. And now, to Tommy's credit, that under 4 minute didn't come until like 2:30.
Exactly.
So a minute and 30 seconds left into that. And then I think Tommy at that point was like, all right, he's got 4. I know this. Let me see if I can run with Henri a little bit longer, just in case we do go to overtime, maybe. And let's see what happens. And I do believe Bittle only shot one more time after that. Got him, but at that point, I think it was like a minute and 20 seconds left to go. And so I think at that point, he was just like, all right, well, I'm going to just let it ride from here on out. And then if it's a close game under a minute, then I'll bring Tobe back in, which he did. So that's the best I can do. I was a little, because of the way Bittle was rolling, especially against Veesaar, you got 1 foul to play with. And he picked it up so quickly after he had his 3rd foul and came back in that you're just like, I don't know if I can really trust him right now to put him back in and not have him foul out. And if we get into a situation where we do go to overtime and Bittle is cooking and I don't have Tobe to go to, it could be dangerous. So that's the only thing I could say is that's my devil's advocate on that one.
Yeah, I was a bit worried there with the foul trouble for sure, but in the way that the game was being officiated, frankly. But I guess, in hindsight, Tommy played it out well, right? Arizona wins the basketball game. I mean, you can't really complain too much about that. But yeah, it was kind of shocking because I remember Kevin. I asked him at one point. I said, "What point do you bring Tobe back in this game?" Because it was pretty clear that Henri Veesaar was struggling against Bittle there. And Kevin said 5 minutes.
I said the under 5 media.
Yeah, and it wasn't until under 2 minutes that he came back into the basketball game. But and then immediately got a rebound, I will say. But I will also say this. I, in preview for this game, said that I thought this was a Henri Veesaar game versus Bittle and not a Tobe Awaka game. And I'd like to put my hand up and say I was wrong on that one because it was quite the opposite. And maybe I should just stop trying to guess who's going to be the front court player of the night every night, because it really could be anybody. I feel like it's super up in the air with both of these guys.
Can I give you a comparison, Damon? Because shout out to McHale Madness, great podcast, sage visionaries, Saul Bookman and Corey Williams giving their wisdom over there. But they've always said it's Jaden Bradley and who, from the guards and wings perspective, who is going to give it offensively? We know Jaden Bradley's going to show up and give it on two ends, right? But who else is going to help him with that feat? I almost feel like it's starting to be a Tobe Awaka and maybe Henri Veesaar. Because I'm starting to expect, I'm not expecting him to out-rebound the opposing team by himself. But I am starting to expect Tobe Awaka to really impact winning on a physicality level, on a dictating the where the game is taking place level, on just setting the tone. I think Tobe Awaka has become so vital to Arizona's ability to set the tone at physicality, Damon, that it's almost like a Tobe Awaka and who else in the front court is going to show up? Which one?
Well, I'll say this. If you have any hope at beating Duke next week, you better hope Henri Veesaar plays fucking better than this. Straight up. Because you're going to have to extend Malawach out to the perimeter at least a couple times. And that means Veesaar is going to have to hit a 3 or 2 just to make him a threat out there on the perimeter. Like that's just legit what was going to have to happen, because because that's not a good matchup for Awaka in that one, because Malawach is a much better player than Bittle defensively. And that's all he cares about. And he's a lob threat. That's basically what he does. And heck, against us, he even hit a 3. So, I mean, it is what it is. So I think you need Henri Veesaar to find it, whatever it is. I don't know what you got to do. I don't know if you got to go to, the local gem store and find your good minerals or whatever. I don't know what you got. Rub some John the Conqueror root on your wrist and get
crystals.
Like whatever you got to do.
Just got to pull like Kyrie Irving and sage the court in Newark.
Go to Sedona.
I'm just
Kyrie's
saying.
From New Jersey. He might be hanging around the area. He might have some good sage.
And the last time we faced Duke in the tournament, we beat them. Who was playing for them? Kyrie. Yeah. Just saying. Going to Kyrie's crib.
Does that mean Carter Bryant's the number 2 overall pick and our Derek Williams in this particular scenario, Saul?
If Carter Bryant does what Derek Williams did to Duke in this game, he's the number 1 overall pick. I don't know why we would put him at number 2.
Just take Cooper Flagg's lunch money. What I would give to watch that, but I will say that it does feel like you will need Henri Veesaar's verticality and rim presence versus a team as athletic as Duke. And frankly, based off the way that they played tonight, I don't think that would be good enough to beat Duke because they shot themselves in the foot a few too many times here. Before we get you out of here, Saul, we'll read this last Be Calm, See Clearly.
We have another Be Calm, See Clearly super chat. We appreciate you, Be Calm, See Clearly. This one's pretty tame. Is Tommy Lloyd single because the Suns can
use
not. Him?
That man is taken.
He is taken.
That man is taken.
He is married. He is devoted. He is loyal. He is our king. He is Tommy Lloyd.
And it's for life.
And it is for life. This is life partner-ish with Tommy Lloyd. You know what I mean?
Hey, Tommy Lloyd.
Locked in.
4 years at Arizona. 3 of the 4, he's gotten them to the Sweet 16.
Yep.
He's on the verge of, another opportunity to potentially get them back to the Elite 8 and hopefully beyond. And if this was the year that Tommy Lloyd was able to get Arizona to the Final Four, to me, it's his best coaching job he's done in all 4 years. There's so many people out there that are like, what is Tommy doing? And they're questioning him and they're like, get rid of him and blah, 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 blah. Tommy Lloyd has been coaching his A off this year. Straight up. And he did it in a much tougher conference this year, proved that they were one of the better teams in the Big 12, and now could be one of the, they're one of 4 Big 12 teams still left after, Iowa State completely fell on their face today. So, and I didn't expect Baylor to win, obviously. So I like Arizona's chances. They got a massive one on Thursday. Hopefully they show up ready to go. I have no doubt that they will. And one thing Tommy's going to do, and what's funny is that Corey was talking about loot in 93 when they lost to Steve Nash in Santa Clara, and how they were on a run, and Luke called a timeout, and Luke was going through it a little bit, like trying to figure out like what can we do against this team that is just like, what the hell's going on? That next thing you know, the buzzer rang and it was time to go back on the court and nothing was said. Right. And that's what Corey said the other night on Mikhail Madness. And he said that the next year, Luke kind of self-reflected on that and was way more relaxed that next year. And of course, what happened? They got all the way to the Final Four. And so I think Tommy's DNA and the way he approaches this and doesn't panic right away, that proved itself in that first 10 minutes tonight. They were getting blown out. It was Liberty all over again, but we're not Liberty. We're Arizona. And so, we are in the pursuit of happiness here. And that's exactly what the state of Tommy Lloyd is going to do, people.
Real quick, Saul, I am actually in pursuit of that shirt. Where did you get your shirt, Saul Bookman?
Oh, you can get this at the PHNX locker at gophnx.com/merch.
Is that right? That's crazy. The whole collection. That one in the bottom right is kind of catching my eye. And the top right. The right side is really catching my eye.
And if you become a diehard, you can get it for free. So look at that.
Sheesh. True. And you get some of my articles. I be writing sometimes. I be doing stuff. Saul writes sometimes. We be doing stuff.
Yeah.
It's worth the cha-ching. You know what I mean? It's worth it. Get yourself a pretty much free t-shirt and some access to some really cool content if you become a diehard. But I wanted to mention we do have another super chat before we get Saul out of here. Like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're really feeling froggy. We're gonna be pregame, postgame, all the way out here for the rest of the season until Arizona is cutting down nets.
I did book travel to Jersey.
Bang!
Bang!
But bang! Triple bang!
Wait. Listen, some purse strings got to open up around here because brother ain't balling like he used to back in the day. So
all the brothers about to enter a recession. So I feel you.
You're preaching to the choir, man. It will be interesting. I hope you do go out there, Saul, because I know you'll be in the media section, but we will need as much Arizona representation out there as possible, given that it is in New Jersey. And even though North Carolina and Jersey aren't exactly bordering each other, I would venture to guess that every white kid growing up in Jersey grew up a Duke Blue Devils fan. So they're going to have a lot of people in the stands in that one.
At least the ones that got rejected from Princeton did.
For sure. For sure. Well, Saul, we appreciate you, all your insight, all your analysis. We'll hear from you. We'll continue to hear from you throughout the NCAA tournament. God willing, this run continues. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, guys. You guys are doing a kick-ass job. Keep it up.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Saul. Peace.
Give him a follow at Saul_Bookman. He is our man, boots on the ground. You can bring it back to me now, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you.
So Arizona wins 87-83. And yeah, great little cameo there from our guy Saul. Shout out to everybody who's here
chat is
in
on
the chat.
Fire, Damon, dog. I can't even keep up with all the fire chats going on. We got 2 super chats to read. Super chats just rolling in. We got Trevor Begay with the $4.99 super chat. We appreciate you. ADO came in clutch with those free throws.
Nails.
Give him his flowers. Yeah, because I was. We'll leave that there.
Nails del Orso.
Give him his flowers. Great fight from the Cats. I think the Pac-12 Cats would have panicked. I agree. Beat Duke, and they damn sure can, and they damn sure will. Trevor,
I'll tell you what, Trevor. Full disclosure, a little peek behind the curtain here. I remember saying to Kevin at one point, anyone but Del Orso on the free throws, and
you did.
Hand up. Saul talks about the adjustment made on the inbounds passes, and it absolutely was that. Like Anthony Del Orso was hungry. He wanted the ball in his hands. Kevin. He ran to the spot. He was active. He got the ball, and then he hit his free throws and took care of business. And those free throws were water too. They were money. It looked like he, the moment wasn't too big for him. And admittedly, hand up on that. He proved me wrong, and I hope he continues to do so. Kevin, I just want to say, if you are in this chat, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys. You guys are like family. This is where we do blood brothers right here. All of us in succession with each other. Francisco Othon $5 says, I really hate that we can't play aggressive like every opponent that we play. I think that this team does play aggressive. Who plays more aggressive than KJ Lewis?
Literally
Genuinely.
nobody.
The guy plays like, I think it's the quintessential, like, dude plays basketball like a football player.
He plays too hard sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. And Tobe Awaka, same thing, dude. That guy is physical as all hell. So I don't think that that's necessarily fair about this team. I do think that there are times where they get maybe a little bit lackadaisical on a particular possession, but I think in general this is the toughest team that Tommy Lloyd has had, and they play extremely aggressive. You know, that they didn't get pushed around by Houston. They played them twice. You know, I feel like this team has a lot to be proud of in terms of in that regard, Kevin.
Honestly, Damon, I think. Oh, there we go. Francisco says no. I'm talking about the ref letting us play. That's true.
Oh, yeah.
Damon is. He's your guy for this one. Damon is the king of, like, I just want consistency. No, you're
I thought
argument.
you were gonna be like, he's
no,
the
I'm
king
making
of
you sound like
crying
a
about the
reasonable,
refs.
fair person. I'm saying you're the king of, like, can I just get a fair game? Can I just get a consistent game where we can be physical and they can be physical, or no one can be physical? But there are, I agree with you, Damon. There are games this year where, you know, Veesaar is hacked at one end and then he is straight up on the other and, like, bends a little bit, and they're like, oh, nope. you are, that's a foul. You murdered that man.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I don't want to be that guy and Arizona wins the game, and I feel like, you know, how many minutes are into this pod are we, Kevin?
We are 36 minutes.
36
and 9
minutes into the pod.
Into
First mention of the refs. I feel like that's pretty good.
That is what you call growth.
I definitely felt like it was an inconsistent whistle. I felt like Oregon was allowed to get away with a lot more contact, especially when they were on that run early. I mean, they're swiping at every ball and just allowed to just get away with it. Arizona had some dumb turnovers too, don't get me wrong. But then when Oregon's going on that little comeback run in the second half, like, you get, you know, Henri Veesaar catches a TJ Bamba, you know, elbow into his Adam's apple on a dunk attempt, and they call an and one. And you're sitting there and you're like, that. I mean, he's straight up and down vertical, and he got assaulted on the basketball court. And so that's where I can't stand it, Kevin. That's where I'm losing my mind. Like, I just want some consistency. There was the play where Jaden Bradley threw the ball off the guy's foot. There was the couple goaltends that went against Arizona when Carter's looked clean, and the Oregon one on the other end was clearly not clean. So yeah, I thought that Arizona got the worst end of a whistle, but at the same time, Caleb Love had some bad turnovers. Jaden Bradley turtling the ball late, and kind of playing into Oregon's hands. You know, KJ Lewis, you know, on the dunk attempt with the technical, that's a 3-point swing right there. You have the missed alley-oop that should have been points for Arizona that became a Shelstad 3 on the other end.
You got to talk.
So I just think that, like, you can point to a million other things that, you know, the refs had no bearing on. If Arizona lost this game, it would have been because they completely shot themselves in the foot. But that being said, please God, against Duke, I am begging for a consistent whistle, Kevin. And I got to be honest, like, I don't want to get out ahead of this and be the excuse guys, but I have a lot of fear that it won't be. Maybe that just helps you going into it being like, you know what, guys?
We know we're not going to get
the calls tonight. We know we're not getting the calls tonight. It's more up in the air in a game against Oregon. Tonight, we're not getting the calls. Everybody be prepared for that, because we're going to have to, you know, we're not going to get the benefit of that. We're going to have to go beat Duke and beat them handily to get the job done here. And maybe there's a, you know, a somewhat of a acceptance and a growth in that, Kevin.
I totally agree with you. I hope that they get a consistent whistle. I hope they get a fair whistle, but I'm not, you know, I'm not that guy, but, you know, Cooper Flagg has quite the friendly whistle, I will say. He gets quite the friendly whistle, Damon Dog. We do have another super chat real quick from AZ Cats G, who's, we appreciate you. Doubling up pregame and postgame on the super chats from AZ Cats G, who coined the phrase Henri the Hammer. We did get a Henri the Hammer tonight. We just don't really remember it. Yeah, we really just don't remember it because of the game he did have, you know. But halftime buzzer beater, Kevin, great Keith Sweat voice. Nobody. I appreciate you. I do appreciate you. You know, no one really has ever said I sing well, so I do appreciate you on that one, AZ Cats G. But yeah, no, the halftime buzzer beater by Carter.
I wish that counted too.
We could have been the real kings of the half-court shot between Caleb Love and Carter Bryant. But now
that was money too.
All we know now is that Arizona really be practicing. They were not capping about practicing those half-court shots because They're kind of money, Damon Dog. But we have still a lot to get to.
We
on
do.
this
We do.
podcast.
My buddy Alec here in the chat says that
Yes, breaking
Arizona's
news.
basketball account just tweeted that was the largest comeback in program history in the NCAA tournament. And that checks out, man. I've never seen this team come back like that in the NCAA tournament. And Kevin, that's why I asked the question, is this the best win in the Tommy Lloyd era? Because you have you set the record for largest comeback in program history in March Madness, right? And you do it against Oregon and in a coach in Dana Altman where, that's impressive as hell. So
It is.
I honestly, I know Saul disagreed with it, said he might have to look back and view some other ones. I'm putting my stamp on it. That is the best win of the Tommy Lloyd era. I'm sticking to it, Kevin. I think that's tough to beat here.
I think it's quickly risen the ranks very fast. Again, I'll kind of take the Saul track and be like, I would love to look back and make sure we have the right feel here.
I don't need to do research.
It feels like his biggest win of all time, right? Because Saul alluded to it. If Tommy Lloyd in Arizona had lost this game, had really choked this game away, right? Credit to Oregon. If Oregon had come back, it would have been Oregon winning the game. But it also would have been Arizona choking it away. So if they lose this game, the offseason that they would have had to survive of just people just talking ish about nothing, really, I think it has to be one of his best wins with the stakes that were there, Damon. People in our last chat were talking about if Tommy Lloyd loses, is he on the hot seat? You know what I mean? So I think just everything on the line, Tommy Lloyd, this is definitely probably his best win.
Yeah, I'm with it. Obviously, we have a massive W here, and just pumped up about it, Kevin. Just pumped up about it.
Oh,
pumped
I did want to bring to your attention a comment from our guy Ernesto. A lot of chat.
Yeah,
Chat's
that was
on
a
fire
great
right
comment.
now.
Yeah,
but I wanted to acknowledge it because this is right up your alley, Damon. He made a comparison to if Arizona beats Duke, it's kind of like the Diamondbacks beating the Dodgers a couple years back. Anything is possible, and you might just be on a miracle run at that point, Damon. But we do have a lot more to get to on this show. We got to buy the numbers. We got to check in on our stocks. How are our stonks doing? We got to check in on player of the game. Who's king of the court? I think we know who king of the court is. But, Damon, we're going to get to all of that after this quick break. Well, Damon Dog, one thing that I'm going to have to make a stop at on the way home is our friends over at Circle K. Now, Damon, I'm working my way up to the exclusive Inner Circle membership where you can save 5 cents off per gallon every day when you fill up. But for now, I'm just in that 3 cents off per gallon range, and I'm happy to be there because 3 cents off per gallon is a whole lot more than 0 cents off per gallon, David. You relax over there because the people at home, if they sign up, they're going to be just like me. But before you become like me, you get to save 25 cents off per gallon on every fill up. That's $0.25 on every single fill-up for your first 5 fill-ups, Damon Dog. And I will say, it's not just gas at Circle K. It is snacks. They got some fire peanut butter-filled pretzels. They got all kinds of sandwiches, a little bit of salads on your go. If you work, you know what I'm saying? You can pick something up, a little fresher options as well, not just chips and stuff as well. You got energy drinks, all that type of stuff. Check out Circle K. Join the Inner Circle Rewards program for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. You might even see me and Damon Dog on the TVs while you're filling up your pump. I'm just saying.
I filled up right before I came in here.
We are like that. Did you see Max? Did you see Bo? Did you see us?
No, there was nobody on the screen.
Damn.
But I did get 5 cents off per gallon because I'm a premium member of the Inner Circle.
Big time.
And also, if you're going to want a place to find the best pizza in town, you're going to want to go to Spinato's Pizzeria. It is the official pizzeria of the Phoenix Suns and the place to watch Suns games. Suns on a little bit of a winning streak now, Kevin.
Some say the Suns are back.
I produced the Suns post-game show when they beat the Cleveland Cavaliers.
It was a wild one.
People are saying, Kevin, that maybe I am the difference between the Suns being good and the Suns being bad. But I know that if I'm doing it with our friends at Spinato's, it's always going to be better because Suns games just are way better with our friends at Spinato's. You can get it in the arena. You can go to one of their locations and watch it inside the restaurant. But you have your chance to win free Suns tickets, gift certificates, more exciting prizes. And also they have their PIZZA contest. It's like horse, but it's spelled pizza. And it is going to give you free pizza for a year and tickets to the Suns game on April 9th. So what's better than free tickets and free pizza? Absolutely nothing, Kevin. Head on over to Spinato's. Get all the info on the watch parties and pizza basketball contest at Spinato'sPizzeria.com. Spinato's the official pizza of the Phoenix Suns.
Damon, before we get to everything that I teased before the break, I do have some comments that I wanted to tend to here. First, I wanted to shout out our guy Carl, who sent me a very nice LinkedIn DM a couple weeks back. So I really appreciate you for all your support, Carl. But also this very nice comment that says Damon and Kevo. I almost flipped our names there, Damon. Thank you guys for bringing the fire all year long. Love this run for you guys and our cats. We appreciate you as well as everyone else in this chat. Jacob Franklin says, what are you guys going to do if both the Snakes and Cats win Thursday? I guess spontaneously combust and then try to put ourselves back together in the meantime, Damon? How do you feel about a doubleheader where the Diamondbacks dub and Arizona also dubs?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would be pretty pumped up about it. I guess I don't get too high or too low after regular season baseball games.
It's hard.
Unless
There's
it
a lot of
really,
them.
really matters.
It's
There's
hard.
a ton of them. So
it's hard.
You know, I'll save my energy for. I feel like you know that about me, Kevin. I'm a big save my energy for when it matters guy.
He is.
And
you had more energy than I did watching this game. Well, you were on fire.
But throughout the Big 12, you know, I'm sitting there and things are happening. And yeah, I get fired up from time to time. But for the most part, I'm pretty level-headed, pretty keen, pretty even keel, I should say.
You definitely are.
And then in this game, like one thing is happening and I'm throwing something across the room at the wall. Breaking stuff here at PHNX headquarters.
Arizona player clearly fouls Oregon player. Damon's over there like,
what?
Can we get a call?
What?
Are you kidding me? No,
Who is that guy? Who is that ref?
I want a name. I want an address.
Kevin, look up his name for me. Oh, he's from Dallas. Interesting. I'm just kidding.
Shout out to Patricia as well in the chat who says, I'm a freshman at Arizona and I am so proud of this
team. Hell yeah, Patricia.
This must be a hell of a time to be a freshman.
Oh, God.
Entering during this segment of Tommy Lloyd? I mean, any other segment of Tommy Lloyd is awesome too. You just made me so sad,
Patricia, because I was at Arizona, and I think people will attest to this in the chat. Like, couldn't have picked a worse 4-year stretch to attend the University of Arizona from an athletics perspective. Been locked in on Arizona athletics my whole life. From Tucson, go to the school, dream come true. I want to see some good sports. I saw some growing up as a kid, and what do I get? First round blowout loss to Buffalo, an FBI scandal, the worst Arizona basketball stretch of my lifetime. And combine that with Kevin Someone just throwing the program into the core of the earth. It was a bad time to be a student at this university.
Damon giving off "give me your badge number" vibes during Cats game.
That's me, man. That's me.
Oh man, Nate says I'm a junior and can say this is the best team I think I've watched. They play with heart, and that's kind of what we were saying.
They do, Nate.
That's kind of what we were saying at the top of the show, right? About how the Big 12 has we saw it pay dividends tonight with the toughness, with the tenacity, with Arizona just not going away once they get punched in the mouth, right? I think a Pac-12 version of Arizona, now we're dealing in hypotheticals, and you can talk all you want. We can go back and forth in circles all day about this stuff, right? But I feel like a Pac-12 version of this team, Damon, gets punched in the mouth by Oregon and just goes away. I think they just slowly lose the game. But I think the Arizona that the Big 12 has fortified, I'll say, in the fires of the furnace, Damon Dog. They're a solid team, and they're not going to go anywhere. They're going to eat your best punches and see if they can fire back and knock you out. You know what I mean? They're going to hang in there. Tommy Lloyd, the great Erica L. Day, put in the chat as well. No, she put it on her Twitter. But Tommy Lloyd after the game said, we're a now what team, or whatever he said about how, they don't care what people are saying. They're just here to prove people wrong, game in, game out, because that's just what they do. They're the gritty boys. They ain't the pretty boys. They're the gritty boys. And yeah, I'm proud of this Arizona team. I'm proud of the Big 12. I'm happy to be a part of the Big 12 as a fan.
Yeah.
But Damon,
big day for the Big 12. I mean,
huge day for the Big 12.
Outside of Baylor, obviously,
Norchad O'Meara Bowl
getting destroyed by Duke. But if you look at around the rest of the league, I guess Ole Miss did kind of beat up on Iowa State as well. But BYU won and Arizona won. So you have that representation, and you also have Houston making their way through, and Texas Tech as well. So, by the way, I just saw who Houston's playing, and I didn't realize it was Purdue. Prayers up to Purdue. Could you think of a worse matchup on paper, Kevin?
No. Honestly, my condolences. My condolences to the Boilermakers.
Purdue is genuinely good, and they're
no, they are. Yeah,
they're not like some like wimpy team.
Brandon Smith is awesome.
Yes, but they're also like kind of a small team and an offensive geared team and not really what I would consider a tough team. I bet you Houston just wipes the floor with them, but crazier things have happened. We got our BYU Alabama matchup we wanted so bad, Kevin. Do you know can you guess the line on the over under real quick? I have that information with our friends at Bet365. Give me a guest line of over/under on BYU Alabama, a game that me and you, Kevin, have said might break the NCAA record for 3-pointers made in a game.
Okay, I don't remember the exact number, but Arizona versus Akron was in the 160s. So I almost feel like this one encroaches 170. I think this one over/under at 171.5.
Everybody get your guesses in the chat. Yeah, I will let you know here in a second. It is a crazy number. It is a stark number. I will say Arizona opens as a 9-point underdog according to Bet365 against Duke. That seems like a big number there. Plus 350, Kevin. A lot of love for Duke by the books here. And rightfully so. I mean, they have the highest net rating in the history of college basketball. Which is pretty crazy to think about since they started doing Ken Palm net ratings, many a years ago, Kevin. But yes, now that I've had a little bit of time pass by, Basketball and Football Guy says 198.
Yeah, that's a
would be my guess.
guess.
Race to 100. 174.5 is the exact correct number, Mr. Tyler Warden.
Dude,
so
is he on an all-time run?
But he changed his number. He changed his number, so he should have kept it what he had. He had the
Scantron, and he selected it right and then erased it.
174.5. And I kind of like BYU as plus 165 underdogs in that game. But yeah, the line's out for these Sweet 16 games here, Kevin, in Arizona. 9-point underdog to Duke. Does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't surprise me. Duke's been opening up a lot of cans of whoop ass so far this postseason, Damon. I think that, we talked about it all year. Arizona gets in the spots that they have put themselves into. Like, Arizona hasn't looked like a world beater by any means, right? So if you have a team that has looked like a world beater going up against a team that has looked good, very good. Arizona's looked very good, but they haven't looked great. Duke has looked great, and they have a player that kind of takes you over the edge in a lot of these tournaments, right? So I think this is actually a fair line. Now, will I be heavily betting on Arizona money line in this one?
Knowing my guy Kevin.
Definitely, yeah. I might even sprinkle a total in there somewhere just for the hell of it. But yeah, Damon, I think it's a fair line. I think Tyler Warden's probably right.
I agree with that.
The Arizona money is going to come in,
which is why I'm trying to get money in on plus 9 right at this exact moment.
Yeah, and this will be like 7.5, maybe like 8 by the time the game goes live. Damon,
can I just say I was already kind of on that realm and moving in that direction, trying to see if I can get a bet in right now. But then when your guy who just is heat checking it all over the place, Mr. Tyler Warden, just Steph Curry style, everything's going in, Kevin, when he says the line is going to be 7.5, now I'm sitting here and all I do is believe it. So I'm going.
Tyler, I am the books, Warden.
Yeah, I mean, just an electric game, Kevin. Thank you guys, everybody in the chat here. Leave a like on this video if you are here, and continue to chat with us. Kevin and I love the interaction. We love to have you guys, kind of driving portions of the show here and getting involved with the chat. It really makes our night, and we love just talking Arizona with all of you guys. So thank you so much for being here. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Big night for the Arizona Wildcats. Going into the Sweet 16, but as I've said, Kevin, not moved yet. Sweet 16s aren't doing it for me at this point in my life. I need an Elite 8 to really feel like it was a successful season, and Arizona's taking care of the business that they should have at this point, Kevin. They beat the teams that they're higher seeded than. Now it's about knocking off one of the big dogs, one of the bosses, the final bosses, if you will, Kevin. I feel like Arizona has played up to their competition since Big 12 play started. They've been in every big game they've been in has been a very back and forth game where they've played hard the whole game. Outside of that Texas Tech game, which in that one I really just think the shots didn't fall late. You can't really knock the effort. So I'm pumped up, man. I'm thrilled, and there's almost nothing that's better than beating Duke when you get the opportunity to in the NCAA tournament, Kevin. We've had our battles with them. I know Arizona fans despise them. It's time, man. It's time. I'm pumped up. I can't wait for Thursday.
I can't wait for Thursday either, Damon. Let's wrap up this Oregon situation real quick so we can just fully get excited for the Sweet 16, Damon, dog. But this is our By the Numbers, folks, by our friends over at Desert Financial Credit Union. Arizona takes this one 87-83. Y'all saw the score bug for the last hour in this show. You already know what the time it is. 45-47 in the field goal percent. Arizona shoots 50% from 3, Damon, dog. Can you fact check me on that? Did I mess that up, Damon? 50% from 3 for Arizona, and this one is damn good. I mean, you're going to need it when, some of the mistakes that you had in this game and also the way that Arizona started, you're going to need to kind of shoot your way.
Kevin, you are indeed factually correct there.
Damn.
10 of 20 from the Arizona Wildcats from 3. As Arizona just continues to shoot better and better at the end of their season, Kevin. And can you pick a better time for the threes to start falling? Truly.
You simply cannot. And then also assists, Arizona out assists, not BYU, Oregon 13-8. Turnovers dead even 9-9, and then rebounds Arizona, mostly Tobe Awaka probably paying the difference here, 44-37.
Animal
in the rebounding category. Damon Dog. We have another super chat from Be Calm, See Clearly. $2.
Is it weird that you're proud of Kevin Young? I wouldn't say so. Kevin Young is kind of an unbelievable coach.
Very worthy to be proud of Kevin.
I mean,
Young.
I don't have any problem with BYU. Truly, I think their fans are kind of funny, and I like kind of having a rivalry of sorts with them, Kevin. But they're good people for the most part, and I think Kevin Young I have a lot of respect for. But I just being in their conference, I don't want Kevin Young to be a great coach, but he certainly looks like an elite coach.
He does,
just from watching
and
him.
He has
what
the
he's done
too.
at BYU his first season. I feel like Kentucky won today. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like BYU upgraded over Mark Pope with Kevin Young, and now you got that NIL support. BYU is going to go a long way. Hopefully, Arizona plays BYU in the Elite Eight, and we get a rubber match against the Cougars there. That would be pretty fun.
That would be awesome, Damon. I would love nothing more than to see that game come to fruition, because honestly, I'd rather see that. I'd rather watch that game than the Alabama game. I feel like I know the Alabama game would be really fun, and we are getting ahead of ourselves, but you know what I mean. I think it's going to be a great game for sure. And Carl, I actually am going to get some really good sleep tonight. But I can get some even better sleep.
Kevin,
I can really hibernate.
I need 100 likes before I'm ready to say that you're going to get some good sleep tonight. We are at 94, I believe, if my eyes do
on the precipice.
Read it correctly.
Yes, your eyes are good.
Kevin, I need that number to hit.
My mom said that's not high enough. She wants 105.
Okay, I'm with it.
But June says goes. June says goes. But yeah, Damon, that was our by the numbers.
Leave me a like for my lucky hat. Leave
a like for
the lucky hat. The lucky hat has
People
not missed yet. It hasn't missed yet, Kevin, and it won't. It will continue to not do so. It will continue to make everything from the floor. Shooting 100, the lucky hat here. National championship hat. Looking for number 2.
Indeed, looking for number 2.
I'm at the point now, Kevin, where we've won a couple of games, and now it's time to have expectations.
Well, because you're reaching the point where, again, if Arizona, who is matched up with Duke now, beats Duke, the sky. I said it earlier. The ceiling is the roof. The sky is the limit for this Arizona team. Raise the roof. You gotta raise the roof. If Arizona beats Duke, you gotta raise those expectations, Damon Dog, because that is most likely, I would say, the second toughest team Arizona would have to face en route to a national championship. I think Houston is still, just because that's the monkey on your back if you're Arizona. You face them multiple times. You just can't defeat the damn Cougars. You know what I mean?
I want nothing to do with
And
Houston.
I understand that Arizona and Duke also have this sordid history and all of this, right? But let's keep it a bean. In the Big 12, you want to handle conference business first. And I think Arizona, that's the toughest matchup left if they were to, dethrone Duke there.
Yeah, but we've also seen teams knock off the big dogs before, and then lose easier games.
True.
Like that's how the NCAA tournament works. And unfortunately, that's the nature of being single elimination tournaments. So, but yeah, I think Arizona here. This is the point where I think the fans are now starting to feel it a little bit. And if you beat Duke, that will be one of the best wins in program history. I know that it'll only be an Elite Eight, and Arizona's made plenty of those, Kevin. But I think based off of how much of an underdog Arizona is in this game, I don't know if Arizona's ever been this big of an underdog going into a Sweet 16 matchup. I would be interested to see if we can get some research on that. Like typically when U of A's winning 2 games to make it here, it's because they look really good in doing so. I wouldn't say that they looked really good tonight, but they're clearly a very good basketball team. A lot of things went against them, still got the W. And Duke isn't unbeatable. It's not like Duke is some team that, is just like they're Kentucky in 2015 or whatever that was. Like they're a team that, they've lost a couple games here this season. So, or has it really only been one?
Let's not talk about that.
It's been 3. It's been 3.
I mean, when you play in the ACC, I think Arizona might have sleptwalked through the ACC this year, Damon.
-9.5 against Duke in 2011. It does feel similar. Like it didn't feel like Arizona had, or it felt like, by the way of the world, it kind of felt like Arizona was not going to win that basketball game. but they just completely flipped momentum, and you know, Duke didn't even belong out on the same court as that team. I could see this team just really playing up to the competition and kind of treating this like it's the national championship of sorts, Kevin, because you have to at this point in the season. I mean, every game should be the national championship. Every game is the last game that you could potentially play. And, you know, I do think while maybe it's unlikely, I do think that line's a little disrespectful. And I think the Wildcats have a chance on Thursday, Kevin.
I do too. And if you want to keep watching the rest of this post-game show, Damon and I are going to be over at gophnx.com if you're with our streaming platforms. If you're on YouTube, just stay right where you are because we are about to enter overtime, Damon dog. Bang.
I didn't even know it had the noise.
Yeah, it has a little noise in there, Damon dog. You learn something new every single day. But Damon, we have a king of the court to get to. It's been an hour and we haven't even
let's do it.
discussed our
We've talked about him
king
enough,
of the court.
but we haven't talked about our specific king of the court. And I believe he now has a lead, Kevin, in this this little award we give out.
The King of Kings?
Yeah, the king of the court here. Caleb Love, 29 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Just kind of carrying the Wildcats, especially at the end of this one, and getting the job done, Kevin. He also had, I believe he actually, I'm sorry. I thought for some reason you had 8 rebounds there. Only 3 turnovers, although they were not great turnovers. They were some, you know, he lost the ball a little bit too easy. But Caleb Love, you know, just making big shots when Arizona needs him most. And that's what you need out of Caleb Love, right? That's what makes Caleb Love who he is. That's why you want him to have the ball in his hands in these moments, Kevin. And he just fills you with more and more confidence with every passing game.
He does, Damon, and honestly, for a while, it was looking like Tobe Awaka had this one wrapped up. It looked like Tobe Awaka had the king of the court wrapped up.
Arizona doesn't win this game without Tobe Awaka in what he does, right? I think just when you have Caleb drop almost a 30 burger, you have to seed it and give him the award there. But Tobe Awaka just as deserving, Kevin, for what he did, especially in the tail end of that first half.
I mean, you could argue that Tobe Awaka got Arizona to the point where Caleb Love could take over. You know, you could argue that Caleb Love doesn't even have the chance to take over and win this game for Arizona, if not for the efforts of Tobe Awaka, in part getting Arizona back into the game. So, yeah, like Ernesto says it here, Awaka gets, you know, king of the court, you know, gets a hand in king of the court for him. I think that, you know, I said it on Twitter, Awaka is the man. Champy here in the chat says Awaka was a man today, and he certainly was. But, yeah, I think honestly, it's Caleb Love for taking over, scoring those 10 straight points, making sure Arizona did not forfeit that lead to Oregon down the stretch. Because who knows, if you lose that lead, you may never get it back. And we might be here talking about listening to this sad woman singing in our intro music because Arizona would have lost if not for Caleb Love at the end of this game.
I don't even want to think about that intro music, Kevin. Don't even want to think about it. Just put it in the garbage.
I mean,
you know what?
I might drag it into the trash right now.
Delete it right now.
I'm on the Mac. On the Mac.
Can you go ahead and delete it right now?
All right.
We're not, because we don't need it. We don't need it here in this
lost music
in this tournament.
Move the trash, yeah, and then all right, empty trash. It's gone.
Keep the vibes high. Keep the vibes high, Kevin.
It is gone.
Yeah, we're just keep pushing on these likes, everybody. Thank you so much to everybody who's dropping likes here. It means the world to us. Kevin, anything else that we didn't hit here before we get you out of here? We're obviously going to be previewing Duke all week long, starting tomorrow at noon. Make sure you guys are there. We're going to be previewing, Arizona versus Duke here. But yeah, just an unbelievable night for Arizona.
Well, we do have a super chat to get to, but Tyler Warden, I want to cue you up here because Mr. Tyler Warden, I used the restroom during the halftime. Like I went to the bathroom during halftime, and I come back and like Damon was chilling when I left. I was
feeling good,
and he's like,
based off how the first half ended, I was feeling good. We had all the momentum.
I'm coming back. I'm like, Damon, how we doing? Like, are we back yet? And he's like, no, we're still in the studio. And I was like, why do you sound sad? He was like,
because I'm like, sorry, and excuse my language at home, but we're in the overtime portion of the show.
Outlaw country.
I'm pissing down my leg, Kevin, because they start showing every team that's lost so far and all the players on those teams crying, and then reality hit me of like, yeah, oh my God, holy crap! Like we're in a spot where if Arizona, like we're up 4 right now or 6 or whatever it was, if Arizona loses this game, the season is well and truly over. And I have to listen to Caleb Love being a part of those montages as he will never suit up for Arizona again. It's like one of those Super Bowl commercials, Tyler Warden, where like it's just like about like kids being neglected and having like not having food on the table. Like
In the
you're riding,
arms.
you got like a Doritos commercial, or like you just saw like some wholesome ass like Clydesdales with some dogs.
Shout out St. Louis.
Yeah. Shout out St. Louis, company unnamed. But
Yeah.
it's like you're sitting there, you're like, yeah, man, this is awesome. Super Bowl rules. And then all of a sudden it's like the saddest music in the world and Sarah McLachlan, you know, playing in the background, and you're just sitting there like, that put a damper on things. That's how I felt about that little montage they showed at halftime. But Francisco Othon, $2 super chat. See Love about to put a
CeeLo put a lot of thought into that Duke question after
Yeah,
the
he
game.
did.
They kind of
He
I
pondered.
didn't like that. It's the obvious question, but it was, I don't know. It felt like it was worded in a way that was kind of like trying to trap him into some like spot with the answer. You know what I mean? And I thought he did a good job of like handling that question and being like, look, we're ready for whoever. We just got to go back and look at the film and get a game plan and like attack the game plan, and we're ready for him. Like that's what he said, and I thought it was a great answer. And Francisco also identifying that here as well. We appreciate all of your support in the chat tonight, especially the super chats. We really do appreciate it. Be calm, see clearly again. Triple bang, 3 super chats from Be Calm, See Clearly. Who's gonna beat Be Calm, See Clearly? Somebody asked Booker, what?
U of A, but
Someone asked Booker, U of A versus BYU, Young versus
Lord.
Lord.
I love Tommy Lloyd. He's the GOAT.
Yeah, I think Ernesto said
All
that
hail.
earlier. We're calling him Tommy Lloyd.
I didn't
now.
notice that earlier.
Yeah, I
Tommy
think Ernesto
Lloyd.
said
All
that.
hail Tommy Lloyd. Also,
That's crazy.
yeah, AU is Auburn, not U of
Yeah,
A,
yeah.
but
It's
all good.
It's all good. Be
All
calm.
good. Thank
It's
you.
all
We
good.
appreciate you. Be calm, see clearly. But yes, I shout out everybody for being here. Shout out biggest moment of the season thus far. Arizona into the Sweet 16, Kevin. And as Erica said up in the chat, of course we'll be live at 12 p.m. doing our regular show time. We will also be doing a Spaces tomorrow at 8 p.m. This is the time. If there is any time, Kevin, it is 8 p.m. Spaces with Erica Day. And be there or be square.
Some
Anyone-
people are saying that if you're an Arizona Wildcat fan and you're not either here right now
Yeah.
or in the Spaces tomorrow night, that honestly, I don't mean to be exclusive, but you might not really be the fan that you think you are.
Right.
I'm just saying. But
Well,
you're all here at least. So check that box off. I'm talking for the other people that aren't here.
Mhm.
If your friends are here, or if your friends aren't here, shoot them a text. Be like, yo, I'm about to revoke your Wildcat card. What are you doing? Get in the Spaces. Get in this post game. But yeah, be in the Spaces tomorrow. Support our friend Erica L. Day.
Yeah, for sure. And also Tyler Warden, I think it is time. We are in the overtime portion, so it's a little bit of OT for you outside of today's Arizona game. But we have an opportunity to laugh at a lot of old friends, Kevin. Josan Sannon. I want to talk about it, but I kind of want to just rapid fire these and let you just laugh at everybody. Kylan Boswell.
He even balled out and he's still. Oh my God.
Wisconsin.
John Tomjay, you thought you were gonna score your way to that? No, nobody.
Actually, did you see that? I want to real quick. Did you see John Tonje, like free throw merchant, the biggest free throw merchant that could possibly be after 45 free throws against Arizona by himself earlier in the season, begging for a phantom call as his season and his collegiate career comes to a close.
Pulling
Man,
a Richie Saunders.
you
really.
want to talk about? I talk about poetic with Caleb Love. That's poetic, Kevin. I almost tweeted it earlier, but the hater inside of me, I was like, you know what? I'm going to suppress it a little bit. Arizona plays later tonight. Don't want to put those bad vibes out into the world.
You can't go out with those vibes too early.
I can't, dude. I couldn't get over it. I was laughing my ass off in my room, Kevin. John Tonje, the free throw merchant that be, just like this flailing his arms instead of trying to actually score the basketball for his collegiate career to end. Just beautiful, Kevin. On top of it, you have Kylan Boswell balled out, but
He looked
Illinois
great. He did look
loses,
great. He
and
did look great.
all of those Illinois fans, bye-bye. We'll see ya. We still got games to play. Thank you, guys. We'll see you. You guys can tune in, though, to our game, win or lose.
Thursday, tip off.
Make sure you guys are
Thursday.
watching. Join in back of the line with the ASU fans, who are now going to be tuning into every Arizona game rest of the way, as their favorite basketball team changes week by week, game by game. Shout out the ASU fans that were in the chat today, Kevin.
I'm surprised. Where's our guy Rome at? I'm surprised.
Yeah, Rome not in here. We know Rome will be here if and when Arizona loses. Hopefully not. But yeah, Oregon, Arizona State fans painted their bodies green and yellow today. Got nothing out of it. You love to see that. Thank you guys for showing up in the chat. Biggest game of the season now becomes Thursday for ASU fans, ASU basketball fans. And then Oregon.
Wait, real quick. How nice of Arizona basketball to extend the ASU basketball season a little bit further.
Mm-hmm.
How nice of them to give Arizona State fans one more game to watch.
It always is just it's their season ends when our season ends, Kevin. That's how Arizona State basketball fans operate. And then lastly, Oregon fans. Lots of bragging rights on the line today. Pac-12 opponents, not a lot of opportunity to play these guys. And they were kind of our Achilles heel when it comes to, rivals in the Pac-12. Not no more, guys. We're going to hold on to this one for about a decade here. You guys are going to have to beat us in the tournament in order to flip this one on its head. And frankly, I don't know if Dana Altman has enough years in him, Kevin, to and not like from a life standpoint, God forbid. I'm saying just from a coaching standpoint, like who knows if Dana Altman will be at Oregon for that much longer. And then I like Arizona's chances to just kind of roll with it. And, without Dana Altman, what is Oregon basketball? So Oregon fans, you guys can take the L2. Big W's all the way around for Arizona fans tonight. It was a big day yesterday in the athletic department, last couple of days here. We beat softball, baseball, everybody on top, Kevin. Feels good to be a Wildcat. Good day to be a Wildcat.
It feels incredible, Damon. And at this point, you're just running up the numbers, be calm, see clearly. You're just trying to break the record and then have some space between you and the next guy. $2 super chat from Be Calm, See Clearly. Is Caleb single? I don't know. I actually don't know. If anybody in this chat would know, I feel like it would be Super Sleuth Private Eye Erica L. Day. I feel like Erica would have some sort of PI on the case to see it, you know what I mean? Who's dating who's single, who's not single. Not even for her own personal interest. Just because she is that nosy, folks. Not going to lie to you. But, yeah, jokes aside, Damon, you and I haven't had a chance to talk about it. I know we're on a basketball postgame here, but Luke says it here in the chat, and I did want to speak to you about it on air, Damon. Yeah. That 16-inning baseball game. Was it 16? It was 16, right?
I think it was, yeah.
It wasn't even. I thought it might have even been longer. But that game was crazy. Arizona baseball is on fire right now. And, it just kind of speaks to the overall health of the athletic program. Football is on the mend. Football is it's on the antibiotics. It's getting the sickness out, and we're trying to get healthy again. You know what I mean? But this basketball team, this baseball team, Damon and I, the softball team, all of this is happening because we trust in the Wildcats, Damon Dog. And you know what? I trust in them to defeat Duke. I know they can do it, Damon. But do you have anything else on this Oregon game before we do get up out of here?
No, I don't. Just pumped up. Proud to be a Wildcat on this weekend and in this week, Kevin. Been a lot of fun. Been a lot of fun with you guys all the way along the ride, Kevin. I know that me and you both appreciate all the people that have been here and just kind of all the lots of love that we're receiving in this chat tonight. Don't you just feel the love? Don't you just feel the love tonight?
I really genuinely do. The chat has been on fire. It really feels like a bunch of Wildcats all congregating in one place to just talk Wildcat ball. And that's all we can care about. That's all we want, Damon, is a safe space for Arizona Wildcat fans to come and talk about the teams that they love to talk about, Damon Dog. So we appreciate each and every single one of you for joining in the chat tonight. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Do subscribe to the channel. Damon and I drop all types of fun content. There's a T-Mac short on our channel right now going crazy. So if you haven't seen that, make sure to go check it out there as well. Become a diehard.
It is. And Bo Brock and Johnny Venerable's take of T-Mac not having the Cam Scattaboo juice. It gets worse and worse by the waking moment, Kevin, as T-Mac just runs up our YouTube numbers. And, Cam Scattaboo in-person interviews are obviously doing good numbers, but I wonder why. Exclusive interviews with a guy. I wonder what the numbers would be if we had an exclusive interview with T-Mac, which we do, and we might and put out here.
And if you want, honestly, I'm going to cue you up right here, because if you want more of Damon Dog going to war for our guy T-Mac, listen to the PHNX Cardinals podcast. Even if it's not for the Cardinals team itself, go listen for our guy Damon Dog, who produces that show as well. Wearing many hats is Damon Dog. But I think that's all I got, Damon. I think that I've exhausted all my routes to talk about this game. Arizona, hell of a performance, hell of a response. Most importantly, these boys are gritty. We should call them the Gritty Boys. And you know what?
Does anybody come up with that?
I think I might have just done that by myself, Damon. And I am proud of this team for the way they responded tonight, Damon. And I'm happy to be an Arizona Wildcat fan.
I am as well. Real quick before we get out of here, I did want to mention this. Plus minus, Tobe Awaka leading the team with a plus 13 tonight.
Sheesh.
Next closest, KJ Lewis with a plus 8. So checks out. Tobe Awaka, the game changer for the Arizona Wildcats in this team, and definitely flipped this one on its head. Kevin, we are blessed to be in this position. We are so happy Arizona won tonight. We will be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. for our regular scheduled showtime. Be there for Erica's Spaces at 8 p.m.
Bang.
Thank you for everybody for hanging out with us tonight. Means the world to us. We're at 123 likes. I think after the show is no longer live, we can hit 200 on it, Kevin. I really, really do.
Oh my God, the
so
buzzer
why don't we go ahead and do it? AZ Catch G with another buzzer beater, overtime buzzer beater, BTFD. Good night, guys.
Man,
and
him
with
and B. Comsey clearly are going to war.
Yeah. They are. And with that, we will bid you adieu and maybe stop this super chat war from continuing, which against our better judgment here, Kevin.
Yeah, just by all means, folks.
Arizona beats Oregon 87-83, crowned Pac-12 champions, on to the Sweet 16 to play the hated Blue Devils. Kevin Thomas at KevoPost, KEVOPOSTS. I am Damon Fairall at DamonDog, DAWG. We are the AZ Wildcats podcast. Follow us at PHNX_Wildcats. Shout out everybody for being here. Give yourself a like if you haven't dropped a like yet. Give it for yourself. And we'll get out of here on that. Appreciate everybody. Peace. Bear down.
Go Cats! Be on to the Sweet 16, baby!
We all silly like the mayor.